let's talk about this past weekend. Obviously, it was a wild weekend in baseball with, the final games of the season wrapping up. We had Seattle, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Jays all fighting for that wild card spot. What were you anticipating? What were you excited for going into this past weekend?
Well, as a Jays fan, I mean, I was hoping for the chaos that could have happened. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
none of that actually did happen, but it was still wild. I mean, to have the Jays take care of business quickly, and then you're once they go up 8-9 runs, I didn't even watch anymore. I was like, okay, let's focus on the other games. The Yankees, I kind of always felt like they were going to get that done yesterday. So, I mean, you probably stressed out a little bit towards the end. But
Yeah,
I kind of,
especially when it was 0-0 to the final inning, I was a little stressed.
That Red Sox game, though, that was pretty wild. I mean, they went up they were down 5-2, and I got thinking, like, this is it. They're gonna lose it. And then, it's the city of Boston, so they've always kind of ruined Toronto's lives. So I should have expected it, but.
If there's one team in the MLB that I absolutely detest, it's definitely the Red Sox.
Yeah,
I hate the Red Sox. Like, I'm a Pats fan, so I do have some love for the city of Boston when it comes to sports, but every other team I could care less. Whether it's the Bruins, whether it's the Sox, I can honestly care less.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you mentioned, the Jays, they did everything that they could to get it done. They had a good weekend. Obviously, they dummied the Orioles on Sunday night, but unfortunately, the Sox were able to come back. The Yankees won their game, so that means that the wild card matchup, which will be on Tuesday, is between the Red Sox and the Yankees. So, what do you see in that matchup? Who do you think's gonna win? Just give your insight on that matchup that's coming up.
I mean, from a league perspective, this is always what you'd want, right? I mean, the ratings are going to be through the roof. But otherwise, I mean, you really do want to make sure that it's the two best teams, and it probably is realistically. I mean, as a Jays fan, I can say it's not, but they're the two teams that are built to win the whole thing.
For sure.
So I don't know. It's going to be tight. I mean, Garrett Cole hasn't necessarily been great since they cracked down on the sticky stuff.
Yeah.
But he's still Garrett Cole. So, I mean, even half Garrett Cole is still better than 90% of the league. So, and he steps up in big games, right? So that's one thing to look for with New York. But, Boston's a good team. They were first in the AL East for most of the season. They didn't do that for no reason. And I think they're kind of getting hot at the right time. I mean, Devers seems to be a clutch performer even this young, so it's going to be interesting. I think if the Yankees can get 7 innings out of Cole, then let their bats do the rest. I think they can come out. But Boston's they plug away. They do what has to be done to get a win. So I mean, I personally, honestly, I think Boston gets it done. But that's just because they're in Fenway.
Yeah, fair enough. We got the Dodgers and the Cards coming up. What do you see with that matchup?
I mean, it's easy to say the Dodgers.
Yeah.
It's an easy one to say for them winning this game. But, I mean, St. Louis won 16, 17 games in a row in the season. So having a team come in this hot is scary for any team,
for sure.
I think. I mean, the Dodgers are definitely built to win again. That's for sure. But you can only throw one pitcher at a time. And the Cardinals have been hitting everything. So it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. But, I mean, it's hard not to pick the Dodgers because they are that good, and you don't win 106 games in a season being fluky, right? So I think depending on how things go, I think Scherzer is going to throw. I'm not quite sure who's on for St. Louis yet, but I think Scherzer steps up too. I mean, he won the World Series 2 years ago. He's been unbelievable since he went to LA and at the deadline. I think the Dodgers get it done again, but I don't know if it's going to be that close, and they could. If it is an upset, I don't know how much of an upset it is because the Cardinals are the best team in baseball over this last month and a half.
So essentially, it's one of the best teams in baseball. Just looking at their roster and how and the rotation, how they get it done, versus the hottest team right now. So you're basically playing a gamble. It's like, okay, if you're that good of a team, then you need to step up. When it matters most. But again, like you mentioned, you got St. Louis coming in that are, they're on a heater. So who's to say that they can't go out and extend that stretch for sure?